came here on the day of my daddy's wedding.
Yes.
Landry, you come asking for forgiveness, but you never asked me about my dreams.
Jack, I come with an opportunity.
Opportunity,
You understand what I'm saying?
What are you offering, and what's in it for me?
Loyalty, Jack. And results.
Partial truths create total confusion. Speak straight, or don't speak at all. We could do great things, Jack. I have patience, and patience always wins.
You know it's okay to admit your mistakes.
You're living in your imagination, fool.
You wanted to end wars, Jack. But the war has just begun.
What is that supposed to mean?
You'll see. You'll see.
Talcott family name will not be slandered. The Talcott family name will not be slandered. Talcott family name will not be slandered.
We understand each other now.
You come here on this, the day of my daddy's wedding, but you never ask about me. You never asked about my dreams. Did you ever care, Landry? Do you even know what it means? Ending wars is
Stand up, fat slave, or
Okay, I can't answer the super chat because
Hey, Landry.
Yes.
Tissue.
Paul, you're the ugliest guy I've maybe ever met. I'm sorry I have to say that. Attractive men don't lose their virginity at 26. So again, don't come back to my area. You won't stop coming to mine. Just get out of here. If it was so good, you wouldn't even be over here talking to us losers. Punch up. Oh wait, there's no one else to punch up to. You already punched up and you fucking kept falling down on your ass, on your big fat ass. So get lost.
Oh, Landry, come on. Yeah, y'all. By the way, that would be great content. You know, the Paul and Slave Landry dating fucking show, man. But there's at least like 2 or 3 women in chat right now who I know if I asked, I don't even want to put them on the spot, but if I asked would come up here and like shower me with affection and pretty much do anything that I ask, I won't use them for that. It's not right, but I could. If I wanted to like really take this late night to the next level and really push your fucking buttons, show that a fucking moron, as if a man has to always trade on how he looks. You ain't the prettiest thing in town from my estimation. I'm not a woman, obviously, but you're far from the prettiest thing in town. I don't know where these guys get this fucking perspective of themselves, right? I'm the ugliest thing Landry's ever seen. He totally doesn't want to fuck me. Neither is his wife. No one does. You know? I'm just not as cool as him. Not as attractive. He's not, he can't do that. He can't go there, I don't think, right? He's a guy like that. Again, I don't consider myself the greatest looking guy around by any means. Yeah, his ridiculous mustache and dolphin teeth, you know, they're all like spaced out, like a monster.
Yeah, he's got the Magnum PI thing going, man. What the fuck?
Just pull up a Landry picture and pull up my picture, right? Like, this is fascinating. She's like trying to console me, like ultimately, who gives a fuck? You know? Some women somewhere find me attractive, no matter how cash deal I am. No matter how over like I am, I'm somehow not completely trading on my looks. I mean, some women have told me Jennifer used to tell me. Because I don't know what you mean. You're a handsome guy, and it just felt like my mom was telling me, like, you're good looking, right? I didn't know how to. I don't know. Whatever.
What does he say? Make Paul kiss the dong and I'll pay 120. Nah, that's not gonna work.
You are a beta boy, bro. Beta boy.
And that's not gonna work, y'all.
$50 from Mr. Wolverine.
Who's ready for this? It's gonna be a great day.
Congregate before I get another migraine. I am broken and bitching. Stone cold, my heart was so stitching back together the pieces from my daughter. Growing sick and seeking riches as a father. It might have been the one final piece of my long-winded tragedy. As for now, I'll continue climbing to the top I lifted, with these keystrokes tapping, fingers like lightning, losing touch of all meaning. Breakfast club with my screens, please.
That's it. This is a dragon. It's like, I love this one. It's a fucking great painting.
OTW, you're fake as fuck, dude. All the things that you said.
You're a slave.
And you're gonna let what you said about me, and you're gonna let this man come in there and do that?
I'm not losing. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, you
what
are.
The fuck are you talking about?
Currently losing to Benton in the Unslavia Morning Show Awards.
Okay.
$50 from Mr. Wolverine. $50. $50 for Wolverine.
You are a beta boy, bro. Beta boy exposed.
I don't even want to talk about him because they're really not worth the time. You know what I mean? But what do you think, y'all? Should we just do the OTW treatment the way that he would run this shit, and I just, go do some push-ups or do some productive while it plays, something like that, right? Or there's a few different routes we could take here. I think we might start there. I think it's an easy little beginning, right? Because that's what our friend here would be doing. Sorry, our former friend. here would be doing without the beautiful topics to talk about that we've been giving him here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the OTW treatment.
This report provides a rhetorical analysis of the communication patterns of Paul Unslaved, based on a review of provided video transcripts. The analysis identifies several prominent themes and dynamics that are characteristic of leadership within high-control environments. The most significant pattern observed is the establishment of authoritarian control, where an unslaved positions himself as an exclusive and venerated source of truth, power, and value. This is reinforced through explicit demands for loyalty and the systematic portrayal of dissent as a form of moral or psychological failure. This authoritarian stance is supported by the cultivation of a stark, us versus them, mentality, which frames the world as a binary between a superior in-group, his followers, and a corrupt, inferior out-group, slaves, critics. This division is solidified through the use of information control and loaded language, including a specialized jargon that redefines reality, creates a shared identity, and forecloses on critical inquiry. Furthermore, the analysis reveals significant use of emotional and psychological manipulation. Tactics such as cultivating ambient fear, inducing guilt, and gaslighting are employed to manage follower perceptions and enforce compliance. These techniques are part of a broader indoctrination process that reduces complex issues to simplistic, black and white explanations and relies heavily on repetition to naturalize core ideological tenets. Overall, the communication patterns exhibited by Paul Unslaved show a strong and consistent alignment with the rhetorical models and psychological dynamics established in the study of high-control group leadership. 1.0 Authoritarian Control and Veneration. In high-control groups, a primary strategic objective is the establishment of the leader's absolute authority and the veneration of their persona. This dynamic positions the leader as the sole arbiter of truth, morality, and value, thereby demanding unwavering loyalty from followers. Communication is engineered to construct a hierarchy where the leader is infallible and their word is paramount. This section analyzes how Paul Unslaved's rhetoric works to establish and maintain this specific power structure. 1.1 Positioning as an exclusive source of truth. Paul Unslaved consistently positions himself as an ultimate, exclusive source of truth, power, and inherent value. This rhetorical framing functions to create a closed cognitive system. By defining himself as the prize, Unslaved preemptively delegitimizes any external source of validation, positioning his own self-assessment as the sole metric of worth. His rhetoric of self-deification serves to elevate his status above reproach, framing his power as self-generating and absolute. I firmly believe that I am the motherfucking prize. I am the prize, motherfucker. How powerful I am because you all keep coming from me, and no matter how much you come from me, I only get more powerful, so let's stop the dance. I am your daddy, get it fucking straight. I know what I am and what I'm not. 1.2 Demands for loyalty and obedience. The language used by Unslaved frequently implies or directly demands loyalty, veneration, and obedience from his followers. This rhetoric creates and enforces a strict hierarchical structure with him at the apex, where access to him is a privilege and his personal needs supersede the collective needs of the group. This dynamic is supported by framing access to him as a reward and demanding unconditional deference to his personal choices. Access to me is a privilege, like I have to live like that. You know, you're not going to take for granted that you're going to get to set my schedule. If I decide to smoke reefer and eat ice cream and pass out, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna wake up guilty that I didn't fucking validate someone and nurture them. I have 10 or more motherfuckers who would drop everything and fucking die for a cause or go to a box above or below ground. 1.3 Portrayal of dissent as failure. Dissent, questioning, or criticism directed at Paul Unslaved is consistently reframed as a moral or psychological failure on the part of the questioner. Critics are characterized as acting from a place of weakness, ignorance, or malicious intent, labeled ego. This technique serves to invalidate any challenge to his authority, discourage independent thought, and reinforce conformity within the group. Challenges to his authority are immediately reframed as pathological defects in the critic, a tactic that personalizes disagreement and deters others from speaking out. See what ego will do to you, right? And then you want to kill the golden goose, the goose that lays the golden eggs. Shut up, Lou, I hate you, get the fuck out, fucking done with your bullshit.
Mr.
They want to come on and play
Snafu.
games and get a participation trophy, and then when it goes bad, they want to blame everybody else except for what they did and didn't fucking do right.
Go ahead and give him
The
one,
establishment
like,
of such authoritarian control provides the necessary foundation for constructing the group's starkly divided social world.
Like so we'll just do a comparison
2.0,
here.
us
Yeah.
versus them, mentality, group isolation. A core tactic in maintaining high control groups is the cultivation of an us versus them worldview.
We'll get one more going here.
This rhetorical strategy simplifies complex social realities into a binary opposition between the righteous in-group and a demonized external out-group. This worldview solidifies in-group identity, fosters dependency on the leader, and isolates followers from countervailing perspectives by portraying the outside world as hostile, corrupt, and dangerous. 2.1 Creation of in-group versus out-group. Paul Unslaved employs linguistic methods to create a sharp, irreconcilable distinction between his followers, the in-group, and all others, the out-group.
You might notice that the one on top is the smallest one. Maybe we can understand the psychological dynamics of how that might work, right? We got to do one more, while we're here. Just one more.
The in-group is associated with freedom, value, and authenticity, while the out-group is broadly labeled as slaves or agents of a corrupt, bureaucratic system. This binary is constructed through constant, oppositional framing that defines his followers by what they are not. Call that ego and legacy bullshit. Whatever it feels good to me feels better than being a slave. Serving your fucking masters, paying your fucking tax, and following policy and code, and being a fucking cat pet domesticated monogamous slave, and the answer is I don't. The people who stomp and say, why is he free? They act just like their government and just like the media. 2.2 Depiction of the out-group. The out-group is consistently depicted in derogatory terms, portrayed as corrupt, inferior, ignorant, and malicious. This characterization serves a critical psychological function. It reinforces the in-group's sense of superiority and special status while instilling a fear or disdain for the outside world, thereby strengthening the group's isolation. This negative characterization of outsiders is a recurring theme, designed to pathologize those who do not conform. A bunch of little girls trying to be men who don't know what men are, so they're trying to be little boys and they're just lower in their value. I'm not hiding, these motherfuckers are lying and hiding, that's why they're so worried about me talking about them. They have no inspiration or empowerment, they're disempowered and insecure, and they try to project that onto me. The social isolation created by this mentality necessitates a robust system for managing the flow of information and shaping the group's internal discourse. 3.0 Information control and loaded language. Managing how followers think and what information they are exposed to is critical for maintaining cohesion in a high-control group. This is often achieved through two primary means: controlling external information sources and employing a specialized, emotionally charged vocabulary. This internal jargon, or loaded language, serves to frame reality according to the leader's ideology, create a powerful sense of shared identity, and short-circuit nuanced discussion. 3.1 Use of loaded language and jargon. The transcripts reveal a specific vocabulary unique to Paul Unslaved's discourse. These terms are not merely descriptive. They are loaded with ideological meaning and function to categorize individuals and concepts within his binary worldview, assigning value or worthlessness and shutting down external frames of reference. Term, phrase, rhetorical function, slave, slavery, characterizes anyone not aligned with his worldview as subjugated and powerless. This creates a strong negative association with the outgroup and reinforces the idea that conformity to societal norms is a form of bondage. You're a fucking pet slave and I don't care who it offends. Pimping, macking, co-opts street vernacular to describe psychological dominance. He redefines it away from exploitation toward creative character, framing interactions as a power struggle where he possesses superior knowledge. Game, pimping and macking with bullshit. This is about creative character within yourself. Value, a core concept defined entirely by his standards.
I could give my own commentary on it, but the AI is just so unbiased, I didn't go in there and say, to go into the cult dynamics of these transcripts. No, it did it all on its own, It was totally neutral, I am sincerely sorry to everyone for the amount of times I said that, Patrick was a worthy rival or more interesting than Paul. I still think he's more interesting than Paul because Paul's so repetitive and redundant. But man, I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of giving them the ad homs. It's very clear what he is and who they are aligned with, right? And this is how I don't need to be the arbiter of truth to get anyone here to realize what I'm trying to do anytime these people do get brought up, which even bringing them up is giving them too much credit, right? People have proven in this space they would much rather see something different, right? The lack of the loop. But these people need the loop because they need it to stay relevant. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little comparison here, right? So we have on one side, this is the left side, we're going to say this is the unslaved side, right? We're going to start up here. And then with the other side, this is the MMLA side, right? So we're going to show you the chart here, right? So we got opposite directions they're going. I don't care what's that guy's name? Anton DiCaprio or whatever the fuck. Whoever these people are, I know I got a ton of clips from our poll that I've never actually gone into because most of the time it's not really on my mind or worthwhile, you know. I believe he prefers to be talked about in a negative light because he's being talked about at all rather than, you know, completely ignored. That's why he reinserts himself in this sort of way. But it's, you know, it's obviously over there, they're just having the block party, the block fest. And, you know, the invitation for the one-on-one here yesterday, I want to be clear, right? In this space, I did obviously have the key, so I could control what happened in the sense of I could let people in, but anybody could have come in. Anybody on the opposite team, you do realize that, right? They just chose not to because they know that they couldn't stand a chance unless they're in an area where they're protected. But here, it's totally open, totally free, whatever you want to go, wherever you want to be. However, we have to remember this, right? I've said many times I'm willing to shut down this shit, go over to a controlled group one-on-one, but not with Paul. Paul's a waste of time. He's a master manipulator. Even last night. Do y'all want to know what happened last night? This fucking guy. So I end the stream, I send everyone over to flow states. And he just starts freaking out. He gets his phone. Look at these numbers. Do you see these donations? And just bragging about his money, dude. Just like all the persons that he says, you know, such horrible things about. But he demands me. Now I'm establishing right now, this is a private conversation, right? It's a private conversation. So you cannot share any of this information that I share with you, okay? I'm like, okay, dude, you're so excessively paranoid about being clipped and recorded in this case, this stream, and I'm not recording. Chill out. And then some dude randomly pops in, oh, I just happened to find this link, whoopsie, and starts secretly restreaming the entire conversation. No change was mentioned as far as the privacy of that conversation, Paul. So did you participate in breaking the law there? Do I get to have the same sort of recourse? You think that, you know, we don't have family to take your ass to court too? Well, you're going to lose because you're going to take a lawyer and you got to realize that and I'll whoop your ass in court. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm not trying to play this fucking game with you, dude. But you are the one who's always taking it there. So it's ridiculous. How weak can one man be to act like you? How small is your wiener? I gotta know. Is this an accurate representation? Let's get back to my OTW broadcast. Hold on. This is what we would be doing if we were over there and there was nothing. If they didn't have me to talk about, we would just be doing the Kundalini version of this, right? Pretending that I know just as much as this software.
Standards. It is used to assign worthiness or unworthiness to individuals, ideas,
Landry
and actions, making him the ultimate arbiter of a person's worth.
Oops.
You have no value system, so therefore you're not valuable. The prize, daddy, self-referential terms that establish his ultimate authority and desirability, positioning him as the central figure followers should orbit and seek to please. I firmly believe that I am the motherfucking prize. I am your daddy, get it fucking straight. White gorilla, a self-ascribed title that combines racial identity with primal, animalistic dominance.
Albino pride.
It functions to project an image of untamable power that operates outside conventional social rules. You're never going to be able to believe it was a white gorilla that did it with a silver and gold tongue. GOAM, God of all media, a self-bestowed acronym that explicitly frames him as a divine, omnipotent force within the digital realm, reinforcing his claims of unique broadcasting genius and control over the narrative. That's why I'm God of all media. Rights and freedoms versus policy and code. A linguistic binary that contrasts the in-group's perceived natural, God-given entitlements, rights and freedoms, with the out-group's subjugation to artificial, man-made rules, policy and code, reinforcing the us versus them framework. 3.2 Use of thought-terminating cliches. The discourse frequently employs simplistic, all-purpose phrases designed to shut down complex thought, dissent, or nuanced questioning. These thought-terminating cliches provide easy, group-approved answers to
Yeah, what a insane, like, to be incorrect sometimes, we can look at the margin of error. When it's something like, did you say that it was 3 days or 2 days? I mean, I get it. It's kind of small and insignificant. But when it's 100 subs a day and we see proof that you didn't even get that for the entire month and then you just walk it back, you walk everything back. But he's got the gift of gab. It is a serious level of like hyper, what do you call this? It just gets you get in a daze. I even got in it last night as soon as this thing ended because he started pulling back that whole like shit and he started working the move, and I was kind of just saying, I kind of hear you, but that's the danger, right? And that's the danger of this kind of person that they'll say, oh, you're a victim. No, not a victim. You just won't fuck off and you don't care. And what do we see with other characters like Jack? They want to be like you. They want to learn from what you do because they believe that you have a successful cult when in reality you have the most diminishing returns of anyone we've ever seen. Like I said, your results are going like this. So we did that, right? We showed your analytics. That was a good move, right? Because it whatever you think it proved or didn't prove, it at least put some numbers out there and it confirmed some things to be lies that you did. But it's just a maximization. That's fine. Okay, so next one. Let's both do drug tests. Me, you, Flow State, whoever else you want to include. We can go ahead and be transparent in that sense too. We got to, find a way to make sure we can't cheat. And we'll go ahead and see if you're really a former addict. Because I'm starting to look at everything that you do as projection. So when you come out at Flow State really intense like that, I'm starting to say that maybe you're the one. Was it 12 years ago you got sober? Remind me. I'd love to know. Thank you. And there's other things we could do. Let's do the proof that you have the ability to dig a hole. We should have a contest. Who can grow, the best looking vegetable? Something fun, right? Because we care about the land. Show us you can do anything but talk. And they brought up the shit with my dad, and they said 40,000, only give me 20,000. What a fucking ungrateful person you are. Dear God.
difficult questions, thereby preventing deeper, independent analysis and reinforcing the group's ideological framework. It is what it is. Happy wife, happy life. End way. Controlling the group's language is an essential component of controlling the emotional and psychological state of its members. 4.0 Emotional and Psychological Manipulation. High-control leaders often utilize powerful emotional appeals and psychological tactics to influence behavior, enforce compliance, and create dependency among followers. By manipulating core emotions like fear and guilt, and by distorting a follower's perception of reality, a leader can exert significant control over their decision-making and bind them more tightly to the group ideology. 4.1 Instilling Fear and Guilt. Unslaved cultivates a sense of ambient, free-floating dread. By framing ambition as deleterious and potentially self-destructive without his oversight, he creates a dependency where he is positioned as the sole navigator through a perilous world, binding followers to him for their perceived safety. Guilt is also leveraged to manage follower behavior, framing potential deviation as a future source of self-inflicted misery. Fear is instilled by portraying the world and individual ambition as inherently dangerous without his oversight. Careful what the fuck you want and wish for, because you just might get it and not know what to do with it and destroy yourself and others while everyone claims to want to save the world. What may appear to be a very good thing may be a very challenging thing and scary thing, and also deleterious, meaning it could destroy you on some level without you even realizing it till it's too late. Guilt is used as a tool to control future behavior by preemptively blaming the follower for potential negative outcomes. You're gonna sit in your hole, you're going to be miserable, spinning and cycle, wish you would have done something different, but then act like it was me. 4.2 Evidence of gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic used to make an individual doubt their own perceptions, memory, or sanity. The transcripts show instances where Paul Unslaved reframes past events, denies the validity of others' experiences, or reattributes motives to maintain his own narrative and psychological control. This technique is demonstrated in his interactions, where he actively re-engineers a follower's reality to fit his own. To Jack Talcott.
I'll go ahead and be more transparent like I've already been, you know. Right now, who do we have blocked here? We have El Diablo. We have all the Snafu strike teams. I can show you if you want me to. I can just give you the backdoor perspective, because I'm not hiding anything, and I believe that these people are hiding a lot of things. It seems to be quite simple, you know what I mean? Like, cause like who's like essentially here over, if you're here, you're listening to my show, right? And if you're over there, you're still listening to my show, because they're just, you know, reacting to my stuff. And, you know, instead of engaging with me, obviously, like I said many times, I can do it their areas, but they feel like they got to protect. It's a weird contradiction, you know. We got to protect our area from you because we don't want you to, you know, taint it. And then, well, no, we'll have to talk about it all day. Well, we just do nonsense over here. Everything that he says, it's like inverted. Everything. So it sounds good. It sounds very, very good, but it's just not. It's not. It's just it's. We can see that whenever somebody has been caught in a lie that big and they just sort of back out and say, well, you know, maximizing, minimizing. It's not a real. It's not really worth taking them seriously. And I'm not saying that I am, but they say that they have the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But I say that I have some perspectives, some energy, some stories that I'm happy about and proud to have made it out alive from, and a willingness to connect whenever I see the opportunity to. These people don't want that. They want to run game and pimp and hoe and all this other shit that they say that they want to do. They tell us right there, you know what I mean? They tell us just how it is. Paul indirectly admitted he has no equals. Yeah, and then whenever, what's his name, came out and said, well, Mitch and someone else, and he just, yeah, he's got the God complex, man. He's got the God force. It says, stop sucking Satan's dick. And then he says, he's great at wordplay. And then I say that modern men are just lost again. You know what I mean? So here's the move, right? What is it with, I believe it's probably a numbers thing, right? Because the numbers, if we can artificially generate them going up and it appears to be more attention and all that is gathered, is that really the sole purpose of who Jack Talcott's going to take more seriously at the time? Or do you think he just is always going to look at him as his father in that sense, like Tommy says, hey, you know, I'm not going to sit here and question you, you know, because you're going to have, even though in the beginning when we had conflict, it was like nothing but, I don't know. It's just fascinating to me the way these people group up together. They want to have their joint cult. Who's the ringleader? I'm not sure. Maybe we can figure that out from Jack today. Who really knows? I don't know, but I mean, it's worth a shot, right? It's definitely worth a shot.
You imagined a false standard so that you can continue making a scream at you, Jack. Nobody wants to scream at you every day. In response to Brian O'Shea claiming authorship of a joke, you try to insult me and say you made that joke up after you came for a week and said it was my joke and it got the biggest laugh. Then one day you turned on me. Oh, I don't think you wrote that. I think I did it. See what you do. See what ego will do to you, right? In response to being told he is victimizing himself, I'm not victiming like Mitchell says. I don't do that. I'm an endless service, okay? These forms of emotional and psychological manipulation are integral to the broader process of reshaping a follower's entire belief system. 5.0 Indoctrination and Thought Reform Methods. Indoctrination is the systematic process of instilling a group's specific ideology and worldview into a follower until it is accepted as absolute truth. In high-control environments, this often involves methods that simplify complex issues into easily digestible dogma and use constant repetition to solidify core tenets. The goal is to replace an individual's prior belief system with that of the group, thereby ensuring ideological conformity. 5.1.
You know how they always tell me nothing I'm doing is original here? Nothing you're doing is original either, guys. What you doing, all you're doing is it's been done before. We've seen this a million times. We've seen it with David, I don't know how you say it, Koch. We've seen it with Charles Manson. We've seen this all 1,000 times before. I mean, except when they did it, they actually could get some people to show up in real life. Show us some results. All I hear is a quiet little silence out in the RV. I work with people. Well, these people would want nothing to do with the internet. Sure, maybe it's possible. Maybe. But are they on the land or are they going to get on the land? Because I've heard you have a ton of conversations with people, 6 to 7 people who want to get on the land many times, right? But are they on the land? Do you think that what do you think would actually happen if you all got together? And if you didn't meet them online, where the fuck did you meet them? You think we believe that you do shit? Like you go places and meet people and interact in real life wherever the fuck you are? That you wouldn't spend this time here. You would have somebody knocking on the door every now and then saying, hey, what's going on with this? Or, oh, excuse me, I didn't know you were alive right now. Pardon me. Or some sort of noise, right? But we don't ever hear that. Because you're all alone. Sitting in the dark. Thinking about how you're the God force. It says, stop sucking, taking deck. Even when you say that, you sound like a woman. So.
1. Reduction of complex issues. A prominent pattern in the transcripts is the tendency to reduce complex social, political, or relational issues to overly simplistic, black and white explanations. This reductionism makes the leader's ideology appear comprehensive and provides followers with seemingly clear-cut answers, discouraging the critical thinking required to navigate nuance and ambiguity. This is evident in his broad, sweeping statements on family, relationships, and societal structures.
A Fed wouldn't lose his wallet. Dude, if I was a I don't know. To be honest, though, if I was a Fed, I think it would be extremely unprofessional to have that story leaked about a certain person in the family, right? So let's be real here. I'm just saying that's really funny. If anyone's a Fed, dude, I don't know, man. I stopped thinking about that because I know as soon as it's about me, we know how serious could they possibly be. Are they projecting? Maybe, but I kind of doubt it. Also, so imagine that let's do some hypotheticals here, right? Imagine I had 80,000. What would we use here for a good reference? 80,000 coupons, right? Yeah, coupons. I had 80,000 coupons. But it only cost 100 coupons to fix my best friend who does everything that I tell him to do. Everything that I tell him to do. I can treat him like a total child. Like he can be my bitch. Anything I need from him, go attack, he attacks. Go defend, he defends. But I can't even afford to fix his little thing that costs 100 coupons. Well, that's where we find our power and value. That's just called evil, okay? Let's just talk about what it is. That's evil, okay? So let's be real here. If you were actually investing in these people who maybe they see the amount of value coupons that you have stocked up, and then they say, "Oh, I got to go towards this guy. He's where the one, I got to make him impressed. That way, I will, get somewhere." What you're supposed to do with that many coupons is impress a fucking woman. That's life. And then she pops out a baby, and then you try to maintain that, and then you shift your goals, saying, "Well, hey, I got a good cushion. So now that I have a good cushion, let's go ahead and make a good life for this child." If I had a cushion like that, you think I would be sitting here? I'm sitting here because the cushion's not like that. So yeah, you can have more coupons, regardless of where it came from. If you think it defines value, it just puts you in a place to where it's even more sad that you're here, but it's also proof as to why you're not motivated. I wouldn't be either if I was in that situation. So let's get real here and remember that this land acquisition, this power grab, this desire for something bigger and better and all that, it's just because you don't need to do anything to get by. I don't know what y'all feel, but that's not how it is for many of us. And most people would see that as a good thing. Most people would see that as the reason why we're more alike than different. It would put you in a different class, so to speak. One that maybe people would be inspired by, but not in this space. Go to a guru, a money guru, or a crypto guru group. Go fuck around there and see if you can get some people cultivated. But here in this sort of space, it seems beyond laughable that you think that this is the proper space for your sort of personality of conquer with fiat, the same fiat you don't ever want to publicly say that coupons. Oh, right. But this was, just coupons. And this is just a hypothetical. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Right, guys? Right?
This is why I say if you motherfuckers who just turn your women and children, maybe even your man, give them to me for a day and I will have them completely renewed and restored because they got to come up under someone who's not going to take their shit. Most marriages fail because the man is not who and what he needs to be and the woman is not that and they're playing house. What if the banks use the schools and churches to condition their lies, because I really think that's what happened. 5.2 Reliance on repetition. The discourse demonstrates a heavy reliance on the repetition of key phrases, concepts, and narratives. This rhetorical strategy is a cornerstone of indoctrination, as it serves to naturalize the group's ideological tenets. Over time, the constant repetition of loaded terms and
all I have to do is add some flair, some music, some beats, some sound bites of the actual words being said. It would not take long. Maybe take a week with maybe an extra person's help to make a 30-minute video that would do more effective explaining of this community, non-community, than any live stream ever could. Because when it gets lost in the sauce, people can just establish the narrative however they want with their sort of iron fist. And then what do we see yesterday? We see Snafu, restreaming the entire thing with Jeeps in the chat and Gabe just talking all about, and even Jeeps is like, oh, did this whole thing where you're bringing up the dad, it's kind of distasteful. So when the two people that you are with and you are aligned with are doing shit like that and you're still aligned with them, do you not think that you've maybe lost your credibility? You've lost your ability to perceive things in a way that is like logical and sensible. You've been smacked in the head the way that Trexty was with the Jack fever. Except with Paul, for some reason, I guess you're just into the, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what you see in that man? I mean, clearly, we saw a little glimpse of yesterday what he was on the inside, which I find respect and I find value. I don't want to use that softness to destroy him, because it's not at all the side of him that I dislike. I see that as the reason why he is the way that he is, but I can't change him. I don't want him to change. But what I do want is to acknowledge that if he could just be that and stop being so damn, but he can't change his life. He can't change what happened to him in his childhood, and it must suck to feel that way, But I don't feel sympathy for him because he's not honorable. He's lied about everyone, and he just has the gift of gab where the word games can go in such a way that seems as though to the average listener, including myself, even in the conversation, it just gets confusing, and you start to question yourself. That is a way of speaking that is very convincing for the people like me and many others who are not as clear in their speech and their messages. The ones who like to think on the spot and sort of be genuine and consider all of the different factors while still standing up for themselves. He has a way of just pitting something down and then moving on to a way that if you don't follow his conversational style, it's impossible, because it's going to be, why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me? When he spends 85% of the airtime talking. Well, it's because I'm the guy out of all media. Well, dude, no, you're loud and obnoxious and rude. And if it were fair, you would be moderated by some external party with you or someone. I don't believe in time limits because they're ridiculous, but you are someone who needs time limits, because it's unbelievable the amount of time that you spend talking versus listening. And then anytime anyone else, you were just waiting to talk. Were they, or was that you? The that's you thing works for you because it is you, but that's not how normal people operate. Normal people operate in a sense of, hey, here's what I've done. Here's my responsibility for this action. I don't take responsibility for that action. It's all going to be on an individual basis, case by case. But with you, when you see everything as the mirror, it's because you are so deeply infected with the toxicity of your own mind and your own grandiose sense of self based off of the deeply buried, complete desperation for attention and clout and I don't know. I don't think you can handle the fact that you've really destroyed everything that you ever built, because financially you might have a lot of coupons, but do you actually feel like I asked you yesterday, do you love yourself? Because I don't think you do. I think you hate yourself. I think you have a deep, vicious hatred for yourself. It's just my opinion. So take that with a grain of salt. But I think that you have the way that you see humanity is a reflection of yourself. There's darkness out there for sure. But there's also darkness within all of us, but it's not the same for each person. And with you, I believe it's very extreme, and that it's in everyone's best interest to sort of realize that when that person is the arbiter of truth in our area, and everyone else with a dissenting opinion gets blocked, and then the conversation, the argument doesn't even matter anymore. Only thing that matters is whether or not you're with the group. It's collectivism. But everything else is going to be like, that's no. What everyone else is doing, that's collectivism. It's just all deflection, projection. Just listen to everything he says, and it's that's you thing just towards him, which makes it so fucking confusing, such a headache. Good God.
And ideological concepts makes them seem self-evident and foundational to the followers' new reality. The effect of repeating the specialized jargon identified in Section 3.1, such as slave, pimping, value, the prize, and GOAM, is profound. By embedding these terms into nearly every discussion, Unslaved ensures that all interactions are filtered through his ideological lens. The term slave is used relentlessly to describe anyone outside the group, reinforcing the us versus them binary. Concepts like value and the prize are repeated to continually assert his authority and the group's hierarchical structure. This repetition functions as a form of ideological conditioning, making the group's unique worldview feel like common sense to its members. These indoctrination techniques are executed through a range of specific and identifiable persuasive strategies. 6.0 Key Rhetorical Strategies. Beyond the broader thematic patterns, Paul Unslaved employs several distinct rhetorical strategies to persuade, control discourse, and assert dominance. These specific tactics are used to build his arguments, dismiss opposition, and reinforce his authority. Appeal to self-authority, defining a claim as true based on one's own asserted expertise, status, or unique insight, without providing external evidence. Dude, I told you I am a broadcasting genius and then you try to insult me. Ad hominem, attacking the character, motive, or other attributes of the person making an argument, rather than addressing the substance of the argument itself. He's a fucking joke. If I was a woman, knowing what I know, what the vision I have, if I was a woman like me, which I know there's women out there, they dry up immediately. False dilemma, presenting two opposing options as the only two possibilities, when in fact a spectrum of other options exists. This forces a choice between the leader's preferred option and a clearly inferior one. You have to ask yourself, as a man, are you a dangerous man who's mastered yourself, or are you a cowardly man who wants to be a master of others? Anecdotal evidence, using personal stories, isolated examples, or unverified accounts as proof for a universal or general claim, bypassing the need for rigorous evidence. I get them in a room and I say, raise your hand if monogamy was your choice. They never raise their hand. The few who do, I suspect they've not being truthful. 7.0 Conclusion. This analysis of Paul Unslaved's communication patterns, based on the provided transcripts, reveals a comprehensive and internally consistent rhetorical system. The findings from each section synthesize into a clear picture of a leadership style centered on absolute authority, group isolation, and psychological control. The consistent positioning of himself as the ultimate source of truth, combined with demands for loyalty and the vilification of dissent, establishes a rigid authoritarian hierarchy. This structure is protected by an us versus them worldview that demonizes outsiders and isolates followers. Control is further maintained through a sophisticated use of loaded language and thought-terminating cliches, which shape the group's perception of reality and foreclose on critical inquiry. Emotional manipulation tactics, including fear-mongering and gaslighting, serve to enforce compliance and create dependency. Finally, these elements are woven together through indoctrination methods that simplify complex issues and rely on incessant repetition to embed the leader's ideology. In conclusion,
right now they have
the
a
communication
child.
patterns, rhetorical techniques, and thematic.
They have a child on screen in their fucking current stream. Can you believe that, dude? Somebody go report that. Like, good God. Have some class.
Yeah.
No.
Why
I think
is
that-
How about
Float
you
State
just stick to the
morphing into
truth
the
and what's right,
bizarro
and being
world
honest with yourself
version
and
of
others
Andrew
instead of
Wilson?
projecting onto me. I would
truthful with each other.
I
You can't be
submitted to
truthful with the
I
whole truth.
submitted to the accountability responsibility session. I copped to the maximization on the numbers.
That is not copying
Okay.
anything. That's changing the narrative to lying, to using a word that sounds better.
No, I'm not.
It's nuancing.
I'm not
It's
directing a known lie. I, in the heat of the moment, said I'm up 100 subscribers because I checked it in the middle of a broadcast, in between going to articles, and I saw the number went from 4 to 5 on the first end. So I copped to that. It's not an accurate statement.
Bro, he's sick.
It brought up my heroin addiction. I copped to it. It was evil behavior. It was bad and wrong for me and everyone around me. Cynthia won't do that. I copped to my.
What you did has nothing to do with me. Quit putting your trauma on.
How much do you want to bet like he wouldn't be willing to do a drug test, even if I got Flow State myself, whoever else he wanted to do it live? How much y'all want to bet? I mean, I know I actually wouldn't be able to bet anything, but just put these guys to the test. You know what I mean? I think that there's a level of liar that goes so deep here that we really have to test it, because it's so beyond repair.
You're not letting me finish. I copped to my selfishness in wrong ways online by saying I stopped doing drama. Even though I was getting more money when I was doing it than when I stopped.
Hey, Paul.
Nobody's going.
Why are you comparing your problems to everyone else?
Yeah, you're equating your drug addiction and your faithlessness and your drug addiction to her good faith one-time vaccination. You did it for years in faithfulness, and
that's not the point. It's not a competition. You're so dense you can't figure out the difference. It's not a competition of who did it more.
Yes,
it's about being accountable.
Exactly. Then why are you speaking out against her about it?
You have to protect your
yourself in the moment that it's bad and wrong. You shouldn't have did it.
Wow.
If you can't be honest with yourself and others that it was bad and wrong, you were manipulating, you shouldn't have did it.
You don't know that. You don't understand that.
Hey, the audio has gotten so bad because everyone's. I'm not sure what I missed today. Let's see. Is there anything good in here?
Is because in the back of my mind is always, why is this big black motherfucker smoking dust with me every day, telling me all this shit, and then wanting to leave? No
All the
problem
shit
with
that he
it.
gave you was you doing him.
Well, Paulie, you know, we gave you the 10,000 for the trailer. We figured we could eat on the house here every day for free, and you're gonna cook it for us, and you're gonna serve it. No, go fuck yourself. You said it was for this, it's for that. That doesn't entitle you access to every part of my life to do what the fuck you want to do, whether I want it or not. And
So
that's precisely why I don't deal with all of you fascistic mafia.
He doesn't deal with all of us. So what is he doing every fucking day?
See, mob rule collectivist scum.
Because you're not a sellout, and since they're sellouts, they resent the fact that you won't sell out like they do.
Sell out for what? For money? What do you mean? He sold out to his family, right? He's selling out in the sense that he's literally selling his truth or whatever he's selling. But I mean, this is what it looks like when someone has everything they need. This is what, I guess, what would you call it? The final stage of that? Has everything he needs. It doesn't seem like he had to work for it. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, but.
Right. That, because they all would do that. Oh, someone gave me 10,000. I'm going to wash their fucking feet now and suck dick and let them treat me however they want. No, I don't do that. I'd rather return the 10K. Not all people are good people.
So not only does he have 80,000 coupons, right? He also refuses to pay for the clutch, right? From his best little watchdog. He also still wanted to split the revenue here with me on the debate show. So how much does he care about money? I think a lot more than most people. So the whole facade of it's not about the money. It's all about the money for him. It's so about the money that he cringes at the thought of getting a $2 donation that he has to be splitting with the government and YouTube for the taxation, because he's worth so much more. You better give him your fucking land. That's the only real way to show him that you value him, because he's so worth so much.
He's the god of all media. People, not all money is good money. The reality of it.
It's the intent behind it that counts.
It doesn't make any sense.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I did not take anything from my father with an agreement that I would push his products on my broadcast. Those are separate.
So your terms are he gets nothing in response.
This is perfect. The fact that people think that I owe them self-tap on my broadcast is enmeshment.
Think about how they're always asking me. They're always like, "Well, Landry made a deal that he should be $1,000, and then I didn't get the deal in the new show. He owes it $1,000." But your big bad daddy can't even get you a couple hundred. Think about who you worship, and think about who doesn't want you to worship them. I have no interest in being worshipped. I have no interest in any sort of cult. Of course, I appreciate support, and I want to find something that works and sustainable long term. But I'm also a man of very simple tastes. Like I said many times, if an editing job comes along, I'll definitely put this on the back burner. I do enjoy working from home, but I also enjoy traveling and getting out and about. So just remember that. I don't need any of you people to be culted up to me. I play fair. And my banana is a little bit bigger than your banana from my metrics, right? I did a measurement myself. I must have missed that, but which one is this? I don't remember. But here we have Polly.
And that's what I don't want to be part of. I don't want to be part of covert contract that because you gave me something
let me get
this. I have to sell your product on my broadcast.
So let me get this.
He not the same ideas. That's manipulation, and that is not okay.
So let me get.
I'm not a hater. Just keep it fucking real, and there won't be a problem.
So let me get this. He provided you with thousands of dollars that provided you mic and equipment, but you couldn't allow that for a consideration.
He didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
He said that.
So shout out to Sophia. Seriously, I am humbled.
Off with nothing, and I think that my channel reflects that with me.
There's your warm mama energy.
I'm trying to find the timestamp. I don't know where am I tripping here? So that was 8-1. Is it a comment? Is it just like one comment, or is it like does he come up on the show? That which is in certain ways where I see you call out everyone.
Person look bad. That's the problem.
I didn't need to make you look bad. You already look like shit.
Right.
It seems like people feel they need this. Like this has to be this sick, toxic type of communication has to be there for us to be relevant. And I think the technology's trained people to think that, that's the case.
Right. But it's absolutely untrue because yesterday, instead of like going and watching this particular show that we're broadcast, whatever you want to call this, I was actually having an actual conversation, a real conversation that I hadn't had in at least a couple of years. The last time I had a good conversation like that was probably when I was over on Andrew Wilson.
Villain's journey. See? And this is just polar reflections, it would seem.
If I could get like one or
I'm not sure what happened. Hold up. Hey, what's up?
What are you bringing today?
So I don't know, man. I guess it just seems like a lot of energy can come out and about. And what are you seeking? I guess lately, right? I know that your big goals and all that, but do you have any sort of new mini missions like with any people and DDC? And this is a genuine question. I'm kind of off the cuff, just sort of figuring out where to take this in a way that's not, outlandish.
Well, you're going the wrong direction.
Okay. Tell me which direction to go.
I encourage you to go back and maybe check out a few of my monologues.
Okay.
Especially maybe the first ones, more recent ones. The topic today, the live stream today, whose life are you living? Right before young Landry returned, I was getting ready to get into a flow, I felt, so I'm going to bring us back into that direction. Regarding, especially for those who call themselves Christians, right? That's who I want to speak to. If you believe in Jesus, what does that mean? Well, and if you don't believe in Jesus, what does that mean? I'd encourage you, and what that series by Andy Stanley presents is, if you can accept that Jesus was a man and Jesus existed and that these things were true about him, then it seems to be pretty important. And I mean, if you just take the Sermon on the Mount, you just take the messages from that and really bring them into your heart.
Repeat it to me, whether I want them to or not. Oftentimes I say, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. They tell it just wasn't important to me. But yeah, man, it's about trust. I do.
Right.
So,
right.
Wizard played that rap too, that he can take 5,000 for.
They just repeat the same lies so often. They have such little ammo.
Out to me.
I come from a fucking chaotic upbringing. I had fucking
To try to threaten me and all the.
You see, the ironic part of this is that all the hating actually makes you even more relevant.
Well, yeah, but again, I like I tell them, they're doing that so they stay relevant.
Nope.
Because I text to everyone to try to do a cash grab, right? They can trust him. They will submit to him. They will give keys to him because he's not powerful and threatening. Now, you'd have to then ask yourself, how savvy are these people to not realize that that's the wrong move to make? Even if I am everything they say I am, it's more of a lightning rod. It's more controversial. It's more interesting, right? There's more to do with it. Moose is catatonic half the time because he's on that yellow liquid, right? He's not interesting. He's not entertaining. He's not well-spoken. He's boring as all get out, and he's deceptive. But he can get keys. Okay, you made your choice. You revealed yourself with the beta collectivism on who and what you think you are, what you identify with, who and what you think I am, what I identify with, according to you, and the moves you're going to make. And this dynamic has been playing out over and over again.
Look, we saw this coming, though.
You're right, Paul. Hold on a second, Snaps. You're right, Paul. I shouldn't have given you the keys. I think my headache probably skewed my discernment there over the weekend. I need to join these guys and go up against you. That's what
they all want to be. Watch what I do here. Master betas in their area, and they don't want to give keys or a second position to someone who may outshine them in any way. Right? That's all this is. This is back to Machiavelli and the 48 laws of power. All this is fucking power game. And that made him upset because he knows, like I know, like we all know, that he's full of shit.
Yeah.
That he can't pay his bills with his signature and all the rest of it. If he could, he'd have gotten 5,000 through the bank, non-bank, with his signature to treat his cancer.
I'm like, here, this guy told me I could do it. That shit was classic.
Yeah, like imagine that. I show up every day to try to work and give these people something interesting and entertaining, even if I got to make myself and my father the poignant or clownish segment, right? But Wizard's too serious and too important and has too much reputation to be a part of that, right? Give me a break.
Hey, Browns boy, you've been saying that you got some optics and Lando's agenda in play. You want to share?
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit, the best that I can. I just started seeing this more recently that, like, let's see. Well,
imagine being as paranoid as Brown's boy.
Okay, so for him, so just yesterday I was on Talcott's and he showed, or I think I showed up.
They'll still let that horrible audio slide. It sucks because I wish that I could not, but it's like I want to hear it. But if it was my show, I would not let that slide. What do I draw, guys? Give me something to draw. I'm kind of trying to be productive here.
First thing he does is like he literally just makes something up that I didn't say. Like I haven't said this to anybody. I don't even think this.
I wonder
he
who
just
does
goes like,
that.
oh,
Who else
something
does that?
about hypnotizing people and anymore. Like he's just trying to be a smartass, like saying I said shit that I didn't say. So like right there, that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, this dude, he has a different agenda that he's 100% willing to lie about. And so I made a point the other day about how he wanted to go with Paul to Slab City, which is an area that's known for law.
That was Paul's idea, dumbass.
Like it's kind of a lol-cow way to go about it. So I started thinking like maybe this dude's here to just fucking clown on everybody for some sort of sardonic joke for possibly someone else even. I don't want to go that far yet, but it is telling that he's hanging out with Moose, that he's hanging out with Dusty, because Dusty being involved with getting to DC early so that he could set his Proud Boy brothers up to take a fall for a media crisis thing.
Now watch this, Browns boy. I think you're I thought you were crazy for the longest time, like Snafu.
But as soon as you start agreeing with me, I'll go ahead and ignore all the rest. You see this, right? Very simple.
I'm one of the crazy ones in my circles, like back home, right? Like paranoia and all the rest of this. Bro, Zetetic Warrior's another one, and so is Boshane. And there's like a handful of these people who collected around me who did nothing but try to get next to me and then wind up switching.
That's what I'm saying, dude. These people are so excessive with their paranoia. There needs to be some sort of middle ground here. So who are we seeing on panel today? Like, who are the big shining stars? Snafu? And what, Brown's boy? That's the best you can do? TML? That's the best you got? All right.
On me to hate on me because I wouldn't let him in beyond a certain point, right? And I find that very fascinating. That somehow I could be a lightning rod. This is why Snafu used to tell me I was a pogo hornet's nest. Because little did I know, I'm surrounded by January 6ers, Proud Boys, psychological operation people, and people working off charges, it seems.
Let me
While they're claiming I'm ratting to get out of jail.
Boy, let me add this before you finish, because this might help you. I have intel, okay, because I got moles everywhere, zebras running around grazing, that Landry has been talking to certain entities, and he's kind of let it out a little. But this, when I said documentary type thing, and you notice like the collection of what he's doing as far as getting the clip.
Here's the thing, y'all, dude. You're basically pushing me into the position where I think that might be the best strategy, right? Because y'all are retarded, y'all are ridiculous, y'all are crazy. You've made it personal by lying about me. So this is where the paranoia comes from. Y'all don't want a documentary made about you because you're up to some weird shit. I tried to make one just about going to fucking Slab City, but you're just up to such weird, strange bullshit that you can't even like. And I'm not a fucking mainstream dude, but y'all are so far gone that you don't realize that you are just at the excessive level to where you have no idea what you would do if you showed up in a place with the only ones there, the ones who support you, Paul. It would be a train wreck. Like, good God.
Clips on certain people wanting to get these clips.
Right.
And if there's certain entities out there because of his editing that want to drop like some kind of, we call them hit pieces or videos, but for certain other optics in play, I think you're over target because of some of the intel I'm getting as far as.
You know what's fascinating to me too? When every time I get these people in private, they got a completely different narrative.
I would love to hear the. We actually had that private conversation yesterday, Paul. Remember? And then you made it public, which you said it was illegal. How about that? I would love to hear about your time in Slab City, Britain.
Yes.
Oh, Paul, you know, you are interesting and we just want to work with you. And all that was just a way to get your attention. And then they start trashing everyone else they just sat with. Like Landry trashed every person he sat with.
I'll do it again. I did not trash it. It's public. Go watch it. It's public. But remember, he wanted to remain private. I trashed. Yeah, I'll say it again right here publicly because I have no fear. You're going to try to use it against me, but you can't. I don't know what this shit is with Flow State using the N-word like over here a lot. I know he's like the biggest stickler with his TOS, but he comes over here as soon as he plays his own audio. It's not like he comes and plays different songs often. It's just N-word, 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 N-word. It seems predatory. It seems malicious. I don't know why I believe that we are not competing. And if he thinks we are competing, I would like to have that conversation with him because I believe that it is surely a situation that could be resolved in this case, to where I don't have any intentions of striking him or demonetizing him. So he played a song, it immediately demonetized the video, which I don't even monetize him off the get-go, but it immediately came up as unmonetizable because of the way he did that. I don't believe it added any sort of context to the clip that we were reviewing. It seemed malicious, and I would like to have that conversation with him. So that's what I said about him. I said that what I said about Cynthia from the beginning, that, you know, she and I differ on a lot of things, but I'm not even sure if I said anything about her. I don't know if I said anything about all these people. I've never said like a single bad thing about Joe Cool, like ever in my life. I mean, which is crazy to me that's. I mean, I'm trying to think of what I've said. I can't think of anything, but somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. Who else was on panel? Kazoom. I don't know that dude, so I definitely didn't say anything about him. So I didn't trash everyone there. It's another lie, right? Another lie. So this guy just continues to lie. The evidence is up. The private conversation that he said was private but made public. So that's why I got to be here to correct the record, right? Like everyone says. What else happened? Or who else was on panel? I feel like I'm missing one person. Me, Joe Cool, Cynthia, Kazoom, Flow State, Paul. No, it's everyone.
With last night in the backstage with me after we got off air. He goes, "These people are all loser, retard addicts. I don't respect any of them." And I go, "So we are in alignment then. What is that?" I go, it starts to become like Paul, fucking.
Listen,
it's bizarre, man.
It's not bizarre. It's actually very, very telling, man. This just tells me that they've been sent here on a mission to destroy this place.
But is it spiritually? I have a hard time believing there's a corporation sitting somewhere paying these people or inspiring
The truth is stranger than fiction, Paul.
Yeah, I think it's spiritual, bro. I don't think they're even.
That's how far that they're out of options here. They have gone so completely dry with the well. Now we are hired by a corporation to come in and infiltrate. Who's we? Is it me and Pero? Is it me and Moose? Has Moose been laying the groundwork this entire time? These people will just bury themselves. What's up? How's it going, Gorilla Gang Gang?
I am well. Yourself?
I'm doing good. You know, I don't feel sort of like I for a while there, it would sort of get under my skin, but for me, it's been so easy to expose that they're dishonest that it just, I feel pretty content. You know, I was going to draw a picture. Nobody gave me any recommendations for ideas while I was listening to this, but the lies are excessive, especially the ones involving your cancer. I think that's very insane because you can go back 3-4 years. Anybody who has eyeballs can see that there's a level of visible sickness that goes beyond anything I've seen from Paul, who says he's been sick for a long time. With Snafu, this dude, if he's sick, people are sitting there letting him just bury his own grave or dig his own grave because they don't want to intervene and say, maybe you need to take a break because they can use him as a weapon. They will use him as a weapon until the day that he does die, if he does. And that is the saddest thing that we can see in this state while they make the claim that you faked cancer. What an absolute shit show, Little Lippy.
Well, yeah, that's what that's the only thing they do. That's what makes their content. They can't see. Somebody got on there earlier, wanted to talk about the Kundalini, and instead of going to a positive topic of Kundalini, they stick to their drama panels while saying he's not a drama panel. He's about infotainment. Infotainment has information in it that everybody can use, you know, like objective world information, like how the laws work, how Christianity works, how Islam works, how the Abrahamic religions are set up, how Buddhism works, how Hinduism works. Those are the kind of things that you use for infotainment. When you start dragging people's name in the mud because you're butthurt and you're in your feelers somehow, that is not infotainment. particular in things when you got profiles on a platform and you're defaming them. So yeah, motherfuckers, I will start striking. You think Snafu Crew strikes? Snafu Crew has his channel stricken more than he's ever been able to strike other people with legitimacy. So when you go around and you strike 19 channels because you're butthurt, not a one of them's got a single fucking sub. They're background channels for doing my research. And here you want to turn around and think that did anything, Snafu? I turned around and made 19 more. And when it comes to trashing your name, I don't need to trash your name. All I need to do is put you out in the public. See, that's what trashes your name, your own fucking rhetoric. So listen up, Landry. When you start talking that bullshit, it's people laying their own ropes. Like I've said for a long time, you don't need to ban these people, block them from chat and stuff. Let them lay their own ropes like they do in the public. That's why I wear this short mustache. You fucking Hitler motherfucking willing executioners.
Absolutely. So there's some cases where I do have, like I said, I have Snafu and King Stephen blocked, but it's because I believe that they scare most people away because they send one message it's like a message a second, and they're just too excessive. But everyone else is not blocked here, so nobody's blocked from the call in right now. I mean, anyone can come in and join, but I just find it so funny. Oh, poor Paul, he had the 5 versus 1, and later he's going to be a 1-on-1. Shut the fuck up, OTW, dude. You don't ever done that.
Yeah, you don't get a 1-on-1 with Paul. See, a 1-on-1 with Paul is Paul running his fucking mouth, over talking you, interrupting you, projecting, deflection, all of his intimations and nuances and shit. Go look at my clown videos. He's the fucking character.
100%.
Even totally aware of it. I think they reveal themselves that they're under a covenant and it's spiritual. I don't think they're all part of some
the thing, Paul.
corporate
Some
group.
of these pogos get used without even knowing they're being used because they're so easily manipulated to stay in alignment to either the narratives or agenda that are set in play. So, like, for instance, they don't even know. Like, that's
an example of who Snafu's talking about is actually Cynthia.
Could you elaborate on that? Oh, did your mic go out?
And just in case you didn't know, Landry,
his mic cut out.
Yeah. BRB is Brown's boy.
I don't think it is. He doesn't make any spelling mistakes. But Brown's boy makes a ton of spelling errors. I think BRB is like, I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't think it's him. I think it's supposed to look like it's him. But I could be wrong. But I mean, if you think that you know, then I'll bro.
It's like, and it, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't know why that's happening with him.
Nah, it's the evil ones. They're trying to intervene. They don't want.
Yeah, I've seen this in life, man. That's why I'm careful to say it's an organized group, because I've seen it in life where people run their mouth and talk shit and act one way with the group, and when you get them aside and get them alone, they'll repeat back to you what we already know to be true. They just deny it in public because there's a group dynamic, right, of expectations and demands and obligations, right, and also power. They get together and they feel powerful and let's get something done. We're gonna take this guy down. You get them all aside and they go, you know what, Paul, you really are the main event. Well, I had Zetetic Warrior tell me the same thing. I had them all. He admitted it in public. He goes, you're the X Factor. You're the main event. I just want to be next to you and be part of whatever you do over a long enough period of time. And then
literally admitted that when in the review that we were doing, even though you told and called it out for being passive aggressive, we kind of like checked that really closely and we saw, well, wait a minute. Sometimes there's a foundation of truth in our sarcasm, right? So I'm looking at what he's saying and I actually see the truth in what he's saying. He actually believes that you have the truth, Paul. He's just doing that. It's crazy. He's doing that for like exactly what you're mentioning there. Those fucking mob mentality group dynamics.
This is exactly what I believe.
He doesn't want his credibility to be lost when it comes to pushing back against you.
This is exactly why I believe that the stories or the main story in the Bible are the only story ever told. because this is the holographic reflection of it, right? A being on the path to perfecting themselves and uniting with the God Force through a revelation will always be ganged up on by these people who know it's there, even if.
Woo! Chuck knows that these people are wannabe cult leaders. Did you hear any of the AI thing that was happening earlier, Pero?
No, I didn't. I just woke up from a nap.
Oh, it was very, very fascinating. I didn't finish, but let me see where it's at, where I left off.
Thematic content within the transcripts demonstrate a powerful alignment with the established characteristics and models of high control groups and their leaders.
Sound like a cult trying to cultivate land, does it?
Yeah, I uploaded 10 of the older pimp broadcasts, and it just I said, can you please, obviously there's a bias to it, because the bias was the direction I asked. I said, what different aspects of cult dynamics would you see are at play in this person's narrative? So obviously that's going to give it its direction, but I'm not sure what it would have done if I didn't say anything. I'm not sure what it could take away from these kinds of broadcasts with God of all media, and you're just a Satan stick sucker, and who knows?
Well, yeah, that's funny how he, on that topic of the vaccinations and how you're a server of Shaitan because you took the vaccination in good faith, while you did it to yourself, intravenously injecting yourself with heroin for a number of years. And then instead of maximizing that, you minimize that by saying, I did heroin once in my life. No, you didn't do heroin once in your life. You did heroin every day for a long period in your life. And then you quit. For once in your life, you quit.
Well, that's the thing too, where I'll challenge him on that shit, dude. I challenge everyone to show us, proof of the pudding. I'll hold everyone's feet to the fire. Can you dig a hole? Show us. Can you pass the drug test? Show us. I know they'll really think I'm a Fed at that point, but Brown's boy speculating that I'm fucking a federal agent. So, I got Chuck is here. What an honor. How you doing, Chuck?
Hey, what's up? All I hear is
same old shit.
Yeah, my mom and dad are both Brown's boy. My mom and dad are both federal agents, so therefore I'm a federal agent. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, what's up, Wiz? All I hear is I'm a victim. Pour me another drink. Is what I hear.
Yeah, I don't.
Look what you folks are doing to me. He's, as Wizard would say, he's projecting his own image upon others, or his own defects of character, shall we call it?
Yep.
Holier than thou, I'm better than you, so listen to what I say, even though my life is shit.
What proof do we have that Paul was a heroin addict? Go listen to his fucking shows. That's his up and coming. He was a heroin addict. He quit. And of course, during his heroin addiction is when he learned all about the universe. That's where he got his knowledge, folks. How else do you get knowledge of the universe unless you're doing something like heroin? Because he hasn't done anything fucking else.
If it's subconsciously, but don't want to consciously walk with it because they don't want to be having to have the accountability and the responsibility and the liability, right? They don't want to go on the hero's journey, so to speak, quote unquote, right? They'd rather go on the villain's journey.
I gotta step away 1 second.
And this is just polar reflections, it would seem.
If I could get like 1 or 2 minutes, I'm going to try to explain this out real quick. Okay, so the way these dynamics are working is in at least with the panel stuff. So essentially, you could kind of think of them as like a reverse operation, where the participants are actually not under the obligation to be there. So they can, the point is that the way that they're set up, you mostly want to work. You do want to work, or you do feel like you have to work with these other creators. and that allows people to swing in and out of doors like real quick and be a part of something and do like something different later. So I do think though that there is a information collection. I do think that that these panels are being watched by agencies. I do think that they're actually set up where you feel like you have to create with these people, and then all it does is devolve, like kind of like OTW was saying. But there are purposeful players in this template. And then that's where Snafu's saying, well, not everyone that participates is actually really part of it, because you'll find people like a Cynthia, like a Chuck, like people like that that'll just play. They'll start playing into it, and then they'll start entraining other dumb motherfuckers that this is how you act, and this is the window that's presented.
Right? That's the Judas code.
Exactly how.
What I'm saying is, I could like detail this out. I'll have to write this out, because like I'm not a good. I'm starting to come to these, these ways of seeing what's going on that are becoming more and more undeniable. But yeah, Landry, Flo, Wizard. No, I didn't. People were disrespecting Wizard for a long time. I tried to give him credit. Kept lying. Dude kept lying. So it's like, you're out, dude. You're out. Okay, we don't deal with liars. That's not going to get us anywhere.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, that's just where I'm at with it. And I'm actually, I should say this. I'm actually going to be working on a website that explains this. So maybe we can start putting them on notice now. Maybe we'll see a little bit of corrective behavior.
Oh,
and if we don't, I made the list.
No kidding, huh,
Right,
Chuck?
it's just like this person points out. They've been here from the beginning. Welsh News Network was a group of broadcasters who were ex-government agents who literally had a symbol of a devil holding a baby that was dead, and the baby had a halo over its head. So their literal symbol was the demons who've come to kill God's children. That was their symbol.
Well, I miss. Well, Brown's boy sitting there talking about how he was dismissive of people that were lying about me in the earlier days. And now he's running around with the people that were lying about me, right? Saying I'm the liar.
You're going on the website. You're a marked man, Wizard.
Yeah, and yet not a one of them can tell you the lie.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll be up there with you, apparently.
Yep. See, that's the thing. They project their delusions onto everybody else and say that we're lying, but then won't come out and tell you what the lie is, like I did on OTWs the one day. It was about 2 months ago. And I asked him straight up, well, what is the lie? Well, it wasn't a physical lie. Well, no, that's moving the goalposts, because there is no such thing as anything else than a physical lie. That's literally what lying is. You do something physically through your mouth by saying something that is untrue.
And they used to do weeks on me, and they admitted they were ex-government agents, and they used to call for my arrest and for me to be dealt with. They even tried to say I was trying to rape children. All types of wild, crazy, defamatory, slanderous garbage, while I would laugh and giggle and make videos about demonic voices coming for me.
And they're reneging on that money. I'd like my $1,000.
What is he talking about?
Put it on the docket.
See, he's so ingrained to daddy right now. That's why he uses the term docket. See, that's the cult. It's a docket. It's a court. And yet he says he's not accusing anybody. He's not trying to hold anybody accountable. That's the only fucking thing he does.
I'm going to have to step outside here soon.
What'd you do wrong
OTW live.
What do you mean?
At Jack.
Oh, I don't know. I just didn't know what the topic was.
Well, he crumbled. He ended his show early.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he couldn't get it. I don't think he was believing the words he was saying.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever does.
He just cut the show off.
Yeah, you know, he won't come here because it's a pride thing, right? But he's got to stick with the group.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and
See,
share.
when he gets talent, he walks away because he knows we usually will handle it.
OTW went to the store to pick up some.
Oh, did you hear anything about Chuck? The yesterday when the stream ended, he demanded that it was a private conversation. Wizard was there, assuming that I would record it and use it against him, and then he should start showing us his bank accounts and all that. But then some other person I never heard of, Penis Power, something like that, comes in and
penile,
yeah,
penile power, yeah.
He just comes in and starts restreaming silently, like.
That's what he's famous for.
But what is the? I don't understand at all.
He's a lost, mixed up young man.
Yeah, it's all the people that follow Paul. We noticed that about all of them, that they're all like kind of the bottom of the barrel. It's the ones who, he gets stuck with, the Browns boys, the Snafus, I clipped this thing. I gotta see if I actually still saved it. I know I still have it saved. I gotta pull it up on the.
Even OTW,
Yeah,
he latches on to Paul for leadership, but they just go in circles.
Yeah. I gotta find this clip. Give me a second, and I'll.
No.
He's like, I got two of my talents up here. I just don't need to do shit.
Somebody just showed up. That's like it tends to happen around here.
Oh.
So if Landry really wants to work next, I think the next court hearing on the docket at Unslavia, I would like to get my money that he owes, and obviously that money that he owes will be put back into the community. Because I already said
what.
I wouldn't participate in that circus.
They won't. They won't. They're too scared. They won't let me in. I guarantee you that. They will not. I strongly believe that even with all the people on their side, they still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's just going to be a pile on, a dog pile.
Well, it's okay. I mean, because I can handle it. I think it's at this
Oh,
point.
you've been doing real good with Paul.
Yeah. Even though he's supposed to be the neutral party.
And I would.
Yeah, I'm kind of partial to lately this idea of gray rocking all these people, not giving them any access to where they're desperate for.
New word.
Potentially having a limited interaction in their area, but not letting it get out unless you want to use it to do content.
Why the fuck? When did gray rock become a fucking word, dude?
Right. Hold on a second. That's what I did today, right? And the only reason I'm reviewing this is because I got word from the grapevines that you were over there. Because while you were over there doing this, Paul, I was actually having a fucking awesome, productive conversation with Yolanda, in a private StreamYard.
Was it about feminism?
No, it was about our spiritual journeys. We literally told our spiritual awakenings and how that happened, and it was a really great conversation. And I would have loved
if
to
these
have
people are spiritually awake, then I don't think I ever want to be.
Yeah,
how I end up.
It doesn't. I mean, they're free to believe what they want, but it sure doesn't follow what I've learned along the way.
I mean, it doesn't. I see evil with these dudes. I really do. I hate to use that word, but with Paul specifically, I see evil combined with stupidity. Right? There's a lot of stupid people following along, but I don't see anything spiritually sound. That's for damn sure. I think what they mean is when I discovered that, a lot of what we were taught is a lie, and that's true. There's truth to that, but just this sort of grandiose. Yeah, I know some truth that nobody else knows. I mean, dude, how?
But I can't. But I can't tell you what the truth is.
No, can't tell me anything without the assistance of, the video. Like, I'll pull up a video that explains it. Well, if you understood it, you could tell me.
Right.
With you people about this stuff, a lot more than reviewing, this kind of drama.
Yeah, right.
And this is where I'm seeing it from. Is I'd rather 100 times over rather have wanted to have been with Yolanda having that conversation than just even watching this particular broadcast. But today I'm reviewing it not for Landry, not because I want to review Landry and what he has to shit talk about me. No, I'm reviewing it because Paul's on there giving the good game. and this is why I'm here.
Well, he got, dude. Like I said, he went for a 1-on-1. It turned to a Royal Rumble, and he fucking still standing at the end.
Every time I brought up one-on-ones to them, they just laugh in my face and scoff.
Yep.
Yeah. 1-on-1, 6-on-1.
Yeah.
You should do some better math. I'm pretty sure it's 5-on-1, right? Flow me.
Well, what last night it was 7-on-1. Remember? And there wasn't 7 of you up there.
Actually, it was a 9-on-1. It was a 9-1-1.
9-1-1. There you go.
I also love every time that Gabe super chats, dude. That it's just 150, whatever, and it's like, all right, it looks nice, right? It's like $4, but it's okay. I get it. No worries, no hate.
And Kazumi started off defending the truth in favor of me,
and then he
ended up having bitterness toward me because I mentioned the shot.
Well,
and he even said, there's nothing wrong with those shots. And comparing him to heroin, I didn't make that comparison. They did. Comparing him to heroin is ridiculous. No, it's not. Heroin kills pain and gets you high. The Luciferase vax doesn't do any of that. It just corrupts your soul. At least the heroin does something. I'm not advocating for heroin, obviously. I don't use it now. It's been 12 years. But he's another one who got a bug up his ass and got bitter with me because I indirectly called him out on his slavery and genocide. And they never liked that.
Landry.
Yeah.
Didn't he say 8 years last night?
What did he say this time?
12.
He said 12 yesterday, but I've heard him say different numbers.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I thought
I'm trying to get that. I want to know
now.
his sobriety date. If it's heroin, you know damn well that he would have one that was very significant because that shit, you don't come off it, you don't come off it just willy-nilly. Obviously, it's a very intense situation.
So
he was at first defending the truth, like you said, but then the tribalism kicked in, and again, I was pretty.
I love listening to these guys talk about fucking tribalism. It cracks me up.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. We're
so
witnessing the tribe.
It's like this is what they perceive as the tribe is the absence of the tribe, right? To where I don't know, I don't know who the fuck I'm not going to let in this area besides strikers and those who want to. And you got to put in a word for me because I want to understand sort of Float State's what he's trying to do when he drops those hard R or in the backstage and.
Oh really?
Well, he did that once, and then he did the song last night.
The song.
I wouldn't where he played a clip of Paul and the song was just like inward, 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 and in my video got. I don't normally monetize them. I just have the donations. But
I missed that part then.
Yeah, it got insta demonetized and like flagged.
I don't believe in the word. It shouldn't be just used willy nilly.
Well, that's why I got confused. It seems like he's a stickler with that stuff on his channel, so I don't know why he would do that here if it was not malicious. But I'll ask him, later on if I.
I don't think he thought he got caught up in the moment with Paul. Then, is that what happened?
It's possible. I don't know. I want to ask him.
But still, if you're not going to do it on your channel, then you shouldn't do it on others. I agree with you.
Yeah. Well,
he can hate me if he wants. He's not my daddy.
Impressed with how you handled it. Honestly,
I'm dealing with cowards, bro. Again, and then they want to go to like Joe Cool started with his little skinny ass. He looks like he's from Ethiopia, starting to go to like physical violence. And I had to tell him, bro, I'm the most loving.
Oh my god, dude! What a fucking lie.
You know why Paul's mad at Joe Cool?
Because he's jealous.
Because Joe Cool's got what 150,000 subscribers,
and he's on the ground.
And he wouldn't showcase Paul's single video.
Oh, that makes sense.
He wanted clout from Joe's numbers, and Joe says, "Till you act right, I can't support you like that." And ever since then, he's had a bug in his throat about Joe.
Clout chasing beta.
God, that hurt my ears, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, that was loud.
Sorry.
Jay something.
Sorry, audience. Jeez.
caring person or neutral person, I will not fight. I've had people put hands on me before at times, and if I can get away, I'll just walk away. If you leave me no choice, I will defend myself, and then you're gonna be sorry you played with me.
God, he really. Oh man, I'm not gonna say it.
It would take all 6 of them to do what Joe Cool said he was gonna do to me. I got another one who admitted it. He said, "If you come over here and show care or vulnerability, we're gonna jump on you." And I said, "Really, Joe Cool?"
That's another lie. We should get the lie counter back up. Jesus. Oh man, what a
That's
lie.
who and what you are. You're some kind of thug gangster.
What he really
And big
said is
deal.
don't come over.
It takes all 5 of you or 6 of you to deal with
sorry.
one real man in a physical altercation.
What he really said, Joe really said is, don't come over here crying. We're not crying like you do. You want to come over here and have a discussion, you do it like a real man.
Yeah. He did sound like he was about to break out into tears at one point, and I can't lie and say I was a little bit satisfied. Just because, he's not, I don't know, dude, he's vicious, man. Some people don't realize that, like, even though there's a part of me that feels sympathy in a way when I see that side of him, because we all know it comes down to the most likely the upbringing and the lack of the mother and all that. But at this point, with the way that he talked about his dad, and it was not 40,000 or 20,000. Regardless, dude, just be grateful and like promote his fucking book, dude. Come on, like what the fuck?
Or in a metaphysical altercation. It's pathetic.
It is
embarrassing.
Yeah, and we noticed it the whole time we've been reviewing it. That's all they've been doing. And essentially, they all need each other to be able to achieve that, and they're not even able to achieve it. That's what's wild about it. And
I've dealt with cowardly punk scum like this on the street who are wannabe gangsters and gang members. They're never about shit.
Who?
When they don't have their little buddies with them, and even when they do, they ain't about shit.
That's
takes all of them to even have an effect.
Yeah, if they come out screaming and yelling and holding sticks, right away they're fucking cowards. But this is another thing that proves this dynamic is like Landry. I don't even believe he really does want to have these back and forth one-on-one conversations, because first of all, the proof of that is when the beginning of his broadcast where you pop in and you actually go at it with him, he literally ends up not being able to handle you. He can't handle it because
he doesn't. He can't handle it.
Right, and he shows it. Then he literally.
Coming from OTW, when's the last time y'all saw OTW on one-on-one with anybody with an opposing view ever? Oh wait,
literally finds his insurance when flow state comes up, right?
And Wizard.
Then he goes in the back with me and said, "Slow State's a retard, addict, scumbag. He doesn't respect, and he doesn't want him on the broadcast."
There he says it again. Another lie. Thank God we have that recorded. Ha!
Yep, and I was there.
Yeah,
yep, and I was there.
Damn, dude, this guy fucking. That's what he wants to do. He wants to. He wants to lie.
And remember, he's the one that said, "Don't go talking to other people about this private recording," right?
Yeah, dude, fucking liar of all liars. Come on, Paul, do better, have better, be better. Take your 80K and go give it to Snafu, dude. He does everything you want from him. You might as well put a ring on it. You know what I mean? Put a fucking ring on the zebra. Is it the balls? Are you eating balls?
Pamunda.
That was a crazy sound, but but no, for real, dude. Like, this is insane. What was that statement? I hold on. Let me listen back to this. Right.
State comes up. Right.
And Wizard.
Then he goes in the back with me and said, "Slow State's a retard, addict, scumbag. He doesn't respect, and he doesn't."
Never said anything about him being a retard, scumbag, or an addict. I said that I was upset that he played the N-word clip, and I believed it could have been malicious. That's all I said. I'll say it again publicly. You're a fucking liar, Paul.
Yeah, I think that's the only time we even mentioned Flow State.
Yeah, dude. Like,
because it was him. Because it was him bringing him into the private conversation, right? Bringing a third person into a private conversation. That's the bullshit that he plays.
Yeah.
Didn't want him on the broadcast normally because he fucks up his stream, right? But he, I guess, won't tell Slow State that, right? I will. I'll tell them all what I think about them straight up. They act like they're all cool and then get in the back with me and all shit on each other, right?
I was having my usual zebra pogo catch-up meeting with a few of my non-zebras that you guys claim don't exist. But one thing that they pointed out, which is really intriguing, is with all this fallout with the tomato ketchup optics, And then again, if you really read Flow, if you really look at Flow State's profile in the last few months, it again, opinionated journalism, I feel there's substances being used a lot more than usual. And I found it interesting because the whole ketchup tomato thing, Flo really tried at first to gravitate on that drama and content, but it wasn't working, obviously. And they revert right back to Paul.
Yeah, the
Well,
raging
because
tomato.
as he phrases it, he only punches up. So while he tries to demean and discredit me, he admits indirectly that I am up to him. Right? And then he even comes in and says, well, I'm okay co-creating with you on an equal level. No, you're not, because in your mind, subconsciously or consciously, you see me as above you, and then you project that that's me doing that. If I was doing that, I wouldn't be seen in areas with people who are beneath me.
Wait, you don't think his egotistical, narcissistic thoughts thinks he's above you? Like that's
No,
how I
he
would
wants
think.
to believe that, but the reason he goes after me is because.
What's up? So while he's projecting that he's not punching up, or excuse me, punching down, he is at the same time professing that he believes he is better than other people. Rewind and listen to that again.
Yeah, he did lie about Flow State, what Flow State said.
He lies about everything, dude. And that's why he has to have this, like, you already know.
As he phrases it, he only punches up. So while he tries to demean and discredit me, he admits indirectly that I am up to him. Right? And then he even comes in and says, well, I'm okay co-creating with you on an equal level. No, you're not, because in your mind, subconsciously or consciously, you see me as above you, and then you project that that's me doing that. If I was doing that, I wouldn't be seen in areas with people who are beneath me.
Wait, you don't think his egotistical,
I wouldn't be seen in
thoughts
areas
thinks
with people that are beneath me.
It's wild, man.
He's above you? Like that's
No,
how I
he
would
wants
think.
to believe that, but the reason he goes after me is because subconsciously he thinks that I have or am something he wants and needs. I don't do broadcasts about him. I don't even go to his area anymore. He's still doing broadcasts about me with regularity, from what I'm told. I haven't seen them. I won't look at them.
What is this then? This is your fucking broadcast, Paul. You're retarded. You just have 2 channels now. That's all it is. This is your second channel. This is not OTW's channel. Everyone knows that.
Yep.
Right.
Taking all of his power away. And that's why he stomps and tantrums. In between trying to play it cool and calm and collective, he stomps and tantrums, come over here, try to pay his way in, comes up and acts like everything's cool. It's beyond gross and snaky. I told Slow Stay, in another life, when I dealt with gang members and I was an addict, if I even thought that he was actually making any money, I'd have already had someone. I'd have already figured out a way to be cool with him and do the same thing back and outplay him and take something up off him or do a humiliation ritual on him. I don't want to be part of it. I'm not going to be a Luciferian. It's not who I am at my heart. My flesh is capable of that. My heart has never been that. So at a certain point, he tries to tell me I need to integrate my dark side. No, you need to integrate your light side. You have zero heart-based intelligence and care. Don't tell me about integrating the dark side. I've been a low-life gang member, associate, asked to join gangs and all the rest of it, planner of certain activities at one point. Because believe it or not, when you're like me and you can talk and think 3 to 5 moves ahead, certain organizations fashion you to be valuable, right? Doesn't matter what color you are.
You remember the time he said
an actual, not the young punks on the ground who were fake wannabes. I had an actual leader of an organization who was moving kilos at one point, offer me a position to do planning and to do organization and to be a manager, right? And
but do you remember the time he said that somebody offered him millions of dollars to say shit that he didn't want to say, and he said no, and he was waiting for them to offer billions because he would still say no?
Well, it's funny too. He sits down there in that little safe spot of his talking about his plans and the people that make offers. 23 years of age, I walked out of prison. Worked in a meat packing plant for 9 months, every fucking hour I could pick up, saving every dime I could. And then I quit and I started my own business. I started doing my own sales and marketing. I did it myself at the age of 23, fresh out of prison. He wants to sit there and try to take offers. You don't need offers. You need to do it yourself. The entire epitome of his blasphemous claim that he's doing something but he's got to have offers from somebody else first, including the offer to cultivate the land that he calls desolate when he's the desolate bitch.
Yep. Hold on, I got something for you.
Clout chasing beta.
That's our new clip.
I said, absolutely no way. Not only am I not going to risk going to prison for 20 years, being a second or a third in command or a planner, I'm not going to set myself up to get whacked because he wanted me to be the only white boy in an all-black organization where these people were literally, look, I was hanging with this guy. We were smoking dust. He would tell me about murders and other shit, and I'd counsel him. And it was the most fascinating thing ever.
What the fuck is dust? I've never heard that phrase before.
Man, that we would sit there and get high, and he would cry or get real with me, and he'd say, it's going to make me emotional. He'd drive past his son in the community, and he said to me, he goes, that was my son right there. And he goes, but I don't really deal with him. I don't talk with him because I don't want him in this life. And he'd drive past him during the day. He would stay with his mother. He'd drive past him during the day, and he'd wave to him, but he wouldn't really have him around or deal with him, right? And he would vent to me. And he goes, you know, Paul, one of these days I want to get out, and I want to leave this to somebody, and you have the brains. The people up under me, they're too stupid, right? One day.
Justice PCP.
Better media.
Justice PCP or Angel Dust, however you want to refer.
Yeah. How's it going?
Hey, Mo. It's another day. I don't mean to interrupt. Do your thing. I'll sit here.
Okay.
He gave him the car. They went out. They got drunk and fucked up. I was in the back of the car, right? I was still smoking dust and whatever else, but I had my faculties about me, even under the influence. And he said, you're trustworthy. You have a brain. You know, you can kind of keep things on the rails. These fucking morons want to go out. They want to pack guns. They want to start problems with people. They want to act a fool. They want to get set up by the police, drunk driving and all the rest of it, you know, doing shit in a sloppy manner. But yeah, man.
Yeah, but again, I agree with you that could have been a setup because I actually
got COTW.
I got it set up that way, dude. Let me tell you the story, bro.
I was just about to say another reason I didn't want to do it is because in the back of my mind is always, why is this big black motherfucker smoking dust with me every day, telling me all this shit, and then wanting to leave this shit to me? I couldn't even believe that he had that much trust and faith in me, right? And then get me set up for all the underlings, because you know how anything works like that, right? If I come in and I take over and I'm the guy who's only been there 2 years, these guys have grown up with this fucking guy and under him, and I'm now going to take the reins on some level or be in charge of them. They'd have fucking...
Hey, I want to point out that DJM is my favorite panel of your show. It's the funniest shit ever. It's just like a bunch of drunk wine moms like, why did you send him nudes? I didn't send him nudes. Well, I thought I could send him nudes. It's the best, especially to just pop in there and sort of just not even know what to do as a man who's sober. It's like, all right, what do we do now? Well, God damn it, I said this about this, bro. We don't know that for sure.
They'd have, hyenaed me in 3 seconds, man. They'd have tore me apart.
Look, listen, I got to no, Snaps, hold on. I got to tell you this story, all right? When I was about 24, 25, I was working for, the big kahuna in my area, right? And I was doing so good, right? At one point,
the big kahuna of what?
He had kind of like a staff meeting, right? And we were about 12 to 15 people in the garage. It's like he owned a car sales place and whatever, so we'd have the meetings there after hours, and I was one of the drivers, right? So he's literally like giving shit to everybody in there, man. He's like really going hard at everybody, and then he eventually stops and he says, do you have any idea between all you motherfuckers in here actually has the fucking the what it takes to take my place? And then he said,
hold on, I see a big mistake happening here. Is this man trying to one-up Paul? I hear a one-up coming up. That's dangerous territory.
Says that, right? And then all of a sudden he points at me, man. He says, come here, man. I go, oh, no. And I'm actually kind of happy because he acknowledges something in me. But at the same time, 3 days later, I got 3 fucking huge motherfucking gorillas that literally fucking set me up to get mugged, right? They took the
course.
shit, they took the money, they beat the fuck out of me with an American fist. Man, I had my head look like a fucking football, man. That's how fucking bad it was. Man.
Wait, what is he talking about? Gorillas? Is he talking about black people? That's wild.
Because you know why? Every one of those underlings thinks it's all about acting tough and being tough and maintaining that around the boss, when really the boss is a human being as well, and he just wants loyalty to the cause.
I want to go in there and ask him, okay, now were they actually gorillas? Were they really gorillas? Or what did you mean by that? Oh, they weren't. So were you lying? Were you obfuscating?
I've never heard anybody call white people gorillas.
He doesn't want careless motherfuckers who got no heart-based intelligence who will do a bunch of wacky, wild shit to get everybody set up. He actually comes to realize, because once you get in that position of power, you realize it ain't all about all the other shit. It's about making money and maintaining your position. And you can't do that if you got a bunch of loose cannons trying to prove themselves constantly, running around town, causing problem. You know, you got to be able to stand on something when necessary and let everything else go in order to make the money and kind of keep things flowing, right? You got to be more diplomatic, is really what it is, right?
Because I was the only one that was really kind of like balling it and making the money, and I was just stacking the money.
Can you clip that, please, Arpol? I was the only one like balling it, you know, like making the money.
Diplomatic.
I was
really what it is, right?
Because I was the only one that was really kind of like balling it and making the money, and I was just stacking the money, and I wasn't spending it on the drugs. But all of the other drivers were fucking dipping their noses in the bag, so they were kind of giving the boss their money back. So he was literally not even paying to have these people work for him. They were working for free.
Yeah, it's all about trust, right? We all think this certain image of what it is, big, bad, and tough, and causing problems, and look at me and whatever. Nah, the person who's already been through all that says you ain't about that. Because when I asked you, right, one night they fucked up with the car, whatever else, got it left somewhere, came back and lied to his face, and then he came to me. He goes, "Paul, what happened with the car?" I said, "These whatever, you know." I didn't call him that because I tried to see it how we were all fucked up, right? I'm smoking dust. How am I going to talk down on them? You know, but I go, well, you know, these guys wanted to go do this and chase bitches and act out on the town and whatever else. And that's what happened. He goes, and what were you doing? I go, I was smoking dust and sitting in the back. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know, I don't care. I'm whatever, you know, it just wasn't important to me. But, yeah, man, it's about trust and honor, you know, and good faith, even in a criminal organization, especially in a criminal organization, because they got to know, if nothing else, you're going to go to jail and stand on what you do. He even said to me when he asked me to take over, he goes, you see, Paul, this is exactly why I trust you and want you in control. Because you just admitted to me what the rest of them won't, that you don't want to do 20 years in prison for moving kilos and having this guy over here do hits when necessary.
I love the sound of Snafu's breathing machine. Like, good God.
You know, it's far and few between, but every so often somebody wants to take what you have and they got to make an example out of them. We all know that. That's how that works, you know? But they won't admit that they don't want to do the time. They'll act big, bad, and tough, do shit they ain't ready for, and then when it's time to go to prison for it, they want to tell on everybody instead of do your fucking time. And I told them, I said, listen, when it...
I did my time.
To do their time? What the fuck?
I did my time. I didn't snitch.
I just, yeah.
Comes to this shit, I'll do time for it. When it comes to this shit, I ain't going to do time for it. So don't put me... Or I'm the devil of all media.
Wizards, accounts have correctly been found by TOS violation guidelines. So shout out to our strike team, and he made another 19.
No,
apparently.
See, and now I'm not. I just said, and now they'll say I sat next to you, and I supported you doing strike team. When I just said I don't support anything.
Guidelines, they got to do it, Daddy.
Go, you guys wanna?
I get what you're saying. That if they're going to say, why am I free, and never go back on that and try to have me in prison with code when I've never done harm, if they're going to lie and slander and do libel online and play power games, you know,
funny. Wizard was crying about his 19 accounts, dude. Like his 19 troll accounts. Like that's what was hilarious. He was crying that his 19 troll accounts got hit.
Shout out to Snafu Crew. Somebody told me it was taken down today.
Crew 101 was taken down.
Thank God. It's about damn time.
Last night.
That's a huge W for the community.
I got breaking news.
Yeah, and it happens to be that I didn't cry about the 19 counts. I just went and made 19 more.
You're
That's
crying right
what I
now.
did.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Well, how the Crew 101 channel started in June.
Oh yeah.
How did it
Well,
start?
it started a long time ago. Snafu Cruise had like 10 channels struck, and maybe you don't remember who I am.
No, I know who you are.
Okay.
But no,
Just making sure.
Yeah, I've known Snafu Snaps for about since 2018.
I don't know who you are. Who are you?
But I've known Snafu Snap since 2018, so I'm pretty well familiar with the guy and how he acts and his game.
You can go watch some of his videos and see that he's actually one of the biggest crybabies on the internet. Just so you know.
He has this a hit single called "Sadness." Don't
Oh,
you know?
he texted me all them songs when he first created them, and I was like, oh, at least he's finding something to do with his time and stop fucking harassing people. But
That's true.
That didn't last
I'd
very
rather he
long.
did that. That's a good point.
Yeah. So, anyways, he got his shit struck again. First time, well, not first time, but one of the two times, because you get 3 strikes on that Crew 101. He started that channel the day that he got the detective here in my town to interview me for the alleged crime of, telling Snafu Snaps I was going to come beat him up. So that day is when he started that channel. And he's used it to attack, other people. One of them, Lena. I'm not trying to be the gossip, but just giving you guys the scoop of what's up. And Lena had him struck when he doxed her after she stopped fucking talking to him. So he's harassing some woman, doxed her. She got his channel struck, not just that time, but another time. She knows about.
Hey, you're cutting out a lot.
Today. And then so yesterday, I apologize. So yesterday, might have been over the speaker. So yesterday, I guess he was doing a video, or he went live. He was sharing Tariq's live stream, and they struck. So he got his 3rd strike, and he lost his channel. Crew 101's gone.
Woohoo!
So, and then he brought Snafu Crew Strike Team back, which he put it in incognito mode about a month and a half ago to hide what he does on. Bless you. To hide what he does online from the prosecutors and the law enforcement community here in Michigan, because what he's doing is cyber fucking harassing and cyber bullying and cyber stalking and cyber terrorism.
Yeah, it's called brigading. And I think that's how they struck my 19 channels. But again, you got to remember, there are no subs on them. I didn't use them to produce material.
So you're just using them for storage or something?
Yeah, for my background work when I do my research. I've been 10 years into research and law. And this is why I find it kind of facetious and ironic that isn't that ankle monitor around your ankle because of the shit with Snafu?
Well, pretty much. It's got its roots with Snafu, but another channel and Snafu's bullshit along with another channel who created a little 2-minute little video about me, took clips off of my video and put it together, and then took my video from the gun range when I was at the gun range 5 years ago and put it all together, acting like I was doing. So I mocked it. Long story short, Snafu called the prosecutor, shared the video, and said he's threatening to come and get me. And so they put a tether on me because of Snafu Snaps actually coming to court and crying.
Yeah, and see, that's that thing that we've been discussing is this internet stuff coming off the internet and going into real life, because people on this internet don't do things in real life unless their feelers get hurt here, and then they want to go out in real life and try to do something. And that's why I find it so funny that Snafu has success in real life when his record here is fucking pathetic.
Well, I could tell you, I know Snafu Snaps. You guys can stop me anytime you want, but I've known the guy for a long time. I know him very well, probably better than most of any of you do who've been dealing with him on a panelverse. I know him very intimately to a degree, no homo, but I know him very well. And I've had several years of long conversations with the guy offline, tried to have reasonable dialect with them, try to get him to stop his bull crap, try to get him to get a job, take care of his daughter that he abandoned, who he chooses the internet over his daughter. And I know that for a fact. His sister's raising his daughter. He's a bum. Everything that he accuses Landry of, Paul, me, LCJC, it doesn't matter who it is. Whoever he's pointing a finger at, his pure projection coming out of that fucking guy. So
And then he's like, I just made 19 more. Like,
what 65-year-old man has fucking 20 troll accounts?
That's wild, man.
That tells you though. That tells you he's doing
what any aged man has that, other than Mitchell, who's obviously brain damaged, right? And we love him, but we recognize that he's
we don't even have that. There's a software wizard that just creates the account.
Yeah, it's fucking embarrassing. All right, we're never gonna get through this clip. All right, I never should have showed up.
Crazy,
here.
And I've been
Should've
wanting
just watched from afar.
I've been wanting to review Yolanda's freaking
people like Landry and shit.
Well, yeah, I contend I'm more normal than all these people because I'd rather try to bang Yolanda than argue over this shit or even comment on it. That makes me more normal than the rest of you.
That's what I've been trying to get at. It's like, and we've been fucking
2 minutes in her, and then
she actually told me the other day she'd allow me to climb in her womb again.
I know.
You know how warm that made me feel inside. And then I caught shit from a couple other women on here who I've learned like me, and they want me in their womb. And they said, "We heard you told Yolanda that you would climb in her womb." I go, girls, settle down. There's enough a month, right? Or taking an extended period of time off. So there'll probably come a day where they will get everything they're clamoring for by default, and then they'll go to missing me and saying, "We wish Daddy was around again." And
all gather in one place and then shame people for believing those things, right? And it's fascinating. I think it's pretty dangerous. I think people are understating the danger of that sort of gathering.
Together have done more than inform me.
There's more feelings corrupting the genuine experience that you're projecting onto me.
I know it's not good
responsible for your
when I
fucking
hear
feelings.
words about to come out of your mouth, and I can predict them with almost 100% certainty.
He admits right there.
And I
there
feel
you go.
like
You're predicting and soothsaying now. He whether I'm admits being right
Oh,
there.
uh,
Or not. He admits right there that when I was restreaming him on 2 of my dead channels, because I didn't give him the main one, because I had a feeling he'd do the beta flip around at some point, like they all do. I had another motive and agenda. I was using him because Landry just had so much fucking talent and ability and way with words that I said, I gotta have this kid. Instead of, trying to pour into someone who was new around here who claimed they weren't going to do gossip, drama, and non-temp. And so I said, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I think that's a perfect ending point right there. How many hours did he do? Let's try this right. I was waiting for Christos to come up, to be fair, but he did 9 hours, right? 9 hours of gossip drama. What do I got clocked in? 2. I say that's a strong ending. All right, 2. And Christos, I'm sorry I missed you. I might be back later. I might be back vertically. Who knows? But that's about all I can take today. Because as far as the numbers game, I play the opposite. I want less time on here, more time outside. And I'm going to go to get the sunset. I only have like 20 minutes left, so I got to run.
Well, peace out, guys. Nice talking to you for a hot second.
Yep.
But I'll probably be going live a little bit later if anybody's interested or not.
Oh, sure, yeah, man. Maybe I've been looking for a place to go that's not going to kick me out.
Well,
I got my own place. Matter of fact, I got many of them.
Well, I don't block anybody that's a big channel. I have nobody blocked. I got a bunch of the trolls, annoying trolls that when causing fucking trouble. But other than that, everybody's been welcome to come over to my channel, but nobody shows up. Everybody's apparently scared of me.
Well, that's one of the things I got to give you kudos for, brother, because I've been over there talking about how you're a big crybaby quite a bit, and you don't block me either. So I got to give you kudos for that. just understand that it's not about crying. You're going to get a much better response by being logical and reasonable. Don't bring that shit to your channel. If you do it like most reasonable people would, and tear it down psychologically, point by point, just like you would in court.
Yeah, I get it. But at this point in time, I'm at my frustration level dealing with this bullshit. It's not the first time. I've been dealing with this for the last 6-7 years.
I understand that. But
it's not, like I said, the first time. So it's a little frustrating, and it's easy to think about it, but
But that's the abyss.
It is what it is,
Yeah, that's the abyss, though. You have to get more real about it.
We've got big egos and we put them on display. Come on down to the charade. We will never stop playing power surely felt it. We've been shelved since the secrets have been held in. God may be real, but I surely have not felt him. It is not you, it is me. All out of words and ink falls down in your court. So think, what do we do to keep our facade in sync? Yeah. God is, but it is not on this computer. You won't know I thought it ought to serve me 'cause I'm a loser. Or some might say they're truthers.